we're going to jump over to one thing that I think is one of the worst. If it actually gets passed, it will be literally, it will literally be the worst thing the Biden administration has done. If this actually gets passed, it'll be the worst thing the Biden administration has actually done. So we're going to pull this up real quick.
Right now, billionaires pay an average rate of 8% on their total income. 8%. Right now, billionaires pay an average rate of 8% on their total income. 8%, that's the average they pay. Now, I'm a capitalist, but if you can make $1 billion, great. Just pay your fair share. Pay a little bit. A firefighter and a teacher pay more than double the tax rate that a billionaire pays. That's not right. That's not fair. And my budget contains a billionaire minimum tax because of that. A 20% minimum tax that applies only to the top 1/100th of 1%. 1/100th of 1% of the Americans will pay this tax. The billionaire minimum tax is fair, and it raises $360 billion that can be used to lower costs for families and cut the deficit. As I said, my budget also ensures the corporations pay their fair share. In 2020, right now,
Okay. So, first off, that is total nonsense. Billionaires, in fact, the top 1%, pay about 40% of all taxes that go into this country. They are paying their damn fair share. I always like to ask this of a lot of people on the left. What is their fair share? What is their fair share? If you had to take, how much of the taxes should 1% of the population be paying? How much should they really be paying? And I'm going to go ahead and pull this up real quick. So the top 1% pay over, about 40% of all taxes that go into the country. Almost 40%. Now, when you talk about the 10% of the country pays almost 90% of all taxes. That is what we're looking at here. That is how big of a difference this is. So, first off, the rich pay their fair share already. And I'm just going to also go on a little side note here. The fact that we treat people differently under the law based on what income you are in the first place, I think is outrageous. All right, I'm for a flat tax. I'm for a fair tax. I think everyone should be paying the same exact flat tax rate amongst all things. Either only have a sales tax or have a universal income tax of 10%. Not because I think that progressive tax system is ineffective. I just think it is completely immoral to actually say, you know what? Because of your income, we're going to treat you differently under the law. We're going to treat you differently under the law because of how much money you make. I don't think that's immoral. I don't think that's right. It opens the doors to just too many other insane things when you start saying we're going to sit there and change the laws based on how much money you have. So I'm for a flat tax. I'm for a fair tax. However, when we're looking at the progressive tax system as we currently have it, the rich pay 40%. 1% pays 40% of all tax in this country. So when you're with a liberal, when you're with a Democrat, when you're with your friend who says, oh, the rich need to pay their fair share. How much is their fair share? Ask them what's the exact percent? 1% of the country should be paying into the total system here. I asked my friend that, and I was like, how much should they pay? Should they pay 10%, 15%, 20%? He goes, yeah, probably around 25%. Well, good news, everybody. The 1% pays 40%. It pays even more. It pays almost double of what this person thought their fair share should be. They did not believe me. They said, no, that's insane. That's not true at all. That's not true at all. They pay less than everyone else does. They pay. No, they don't. They don't pay less. They pay their fair share. They pay 40% of all of our taxes into this country. Top 1%. Now, then the question is, well, how do they get away with paying so little in taxes each year? And there's two issues to this. One, because they follow the damn tax code. They either give the charity enough, or they have, they reinvest their money back into their businesses. There's tons of different things you can do with your money to make it so you don't have to really pay taxes on it because you've put it somewhere else that the government has approved. That's not you finding a loophole. That is you just filing your damn taxes. All right, when I filed, listen, we have a kid, right? We have a 1-year-old at this point. And so this year when we filed our taxes, of course, we claimed our kid. Me claiming my kid to get more money in my tax return is not a loophole. It is literally just me filing my taxes. When these rich people pay a certain amount in taxes, whether it be, like 8%, whatever Biden might be quoting there, it's not they're finding loopholes. They're not doing anything illegal. They're just following the tax code. And it's easier for these idiots to sit there and say, we need to raise their taxes, than it is for them to simply say, why don't we just relook at the tax code and see exactly how it's being done and just change certain portions of it. Think about that. Why don't they just change the portion of the tax code that allows people to pay less in taxes? I don't think they should, mind you. I think actually the current way it's set up is, it's abysmal, but it's better than the alternative at the moment, right? The fact that I can sit there and register, our charity givings as a deduction, that's a positive thing, because I'm still choosing how that money is used in my community rather than the government choosing to do so. I think that's actually a better alternative for the most part. But if you're really concerned about this, change the damn tax code. Don't increase the damn taxes. As simple as that. But what he's trying to get at, what he wants to do, and this is where it gets almost frightening, is he wants to go after the richest, I think it's like 700 Americans, and say, we're going to tax you on your unrealized gains in the stock market. So here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. When they say Elon Musk is worth trillions of dollars he's worth, or Bezos or any of them, they're worth that much, but they don't have that much, right? It's in stocks. It's in other assets for the most part. They don't actually have the money. They never made $1 trillion, right? They never made the billions of dollars. I think Elon Musk gets like $80,000 a year is how much he actually gets paid. So he pays taxes on the $80,000 a year. His company pays taxes up the ass, right? I mean, look at everything they do when it comes to property tax for those buildings, when it comes to everything else they have to register, when it comes to their employees. They're paying taxes like crazy. Every single time they buy equipment for their, Teslas and rocket ships and all the crazy shit they're doing, they're paying taxes on those things. You don't get to see the sales tax, do you? But guess what? When a company buys equipment, they don't get it for free. They have to pay sales tax. So they're paying a shit ton of taxes as is. We already have the highest capital gains tax, or what's on the highest corporate tax rates in the entire world, right? And we're in it's around 30% for corporate tax rates, mind you. In places like like the Nordic countries that Bernie Sanders likes to mention so much, they're below 10% in some cases. We're some of the highest corporate tax rates in the world, so they're already paying higher than most places. And yet they still choose to do business in America, mostly because of the benefits it allows them. They're already paying their fair share, but what they're trying to tax now is the unrealized gains. And to make it simple, let's say you invest into AMC, right? The good meme stock. So last week or so, it was worth about, about like $15. So you put $1,500 into it, right? You're buying a good amount of stocks, right? You're just $1,500, $15 a share. You got 100 shares. Congratulations. You're invested in a great old meme stock. Love the stocks. This week, it hit $30. Actually went past 30 by a small amount. Now, when does the government calculate the money you've made apparently in your portfolio? Because then for a moment, you now have $3,000 sitting in that stock. So the government will count it up and say, all right, you made $1,500. You didn't sell anything, but the government will say you made $1,500. You got to pay taxes on that. So you go through your tax process, and it's a few days later, and the stock has dropped down to $20 a share. $20 a share. Yet according to the government, you made $1,500. Now you didn't, though. Now it's gone back down. How do you pay taxes on that amount? It's kind of like, excuse me, it's kind of like you're playing poker, right? Me and you are playing poker against one another. We have $1,000 on the table. And then before we actually show each other our hands, the tax man comes up and says, hey, look, you made $1,000. Congratulations. You got to pay taxes on that. Well, I haven't made it yet. All right, we haven't seen who won. I could lose my $1,000. You have no idea. Yet they're coming up and saying, well, you could have $2,000. That could be your estimated profit, because I think, it looks like you're going to be able to make out pretty well here. The hand hasn't been completed. I don't know what I've made. That is what they want to tax. That is what they're now trying to tax. They're trying to tax unrealized gains for the richest, like you said, like top 0.001% of the country. Well, guess what? Income tax started off at the higher level too, and then it proceeded to go down to everyone else. Listen, if they try to tax that wealth, I mean, for one, it'll destroy the companies. All right, you're going to have people like Elon Musk having to, frankly, sell off all the shares to his company to just pay the damn taxes on it, until the point where he's no longer the owner of his own company. He built it. He established it. He should remain owner for as long as he wants. But the government's trying to find a way to take ownership away from them. This is a way to kind of reach a system of socialism in kind of a very sly way. You make them sell off their shares so they are no longer the owners of their own company. Right? It's a very, very sneaky way of doing it. But here's the thing. Who's to say they're going to stay in America? Who's to say they're actually going to stay in the country in the first place? More than likely they're not. More than likely they're going to leave. More than likely they're going to run off to another country that will actually allow them to keep the money that they have earned. Because, at the end of the day, you should keep the sweat of your own brow. And, I misspoke there, actually. I said keep the money they have earned. They haven't earned it yet. I mean, this is how insane this is. They haven't earned it yet. This is someone who is... The Biden administration, these Democrats, have never read a damn economic book in their life. It is insane. All you gotta do is pick up a book. Just pick up any economic book and you'll realize how insane this is. Just, let's see. Richest Man in Babylon. A very simple book. Parables on economics. You'll learn so much from it. I read it when I was like in middle school, maybe a freshman in high school. Very, very easy book. You would realize how stupid this is if you read just this one book. But let's go more. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Great book, beginner on when it comes to investments. His other book, Cash Flow Quadrant, very easy read. I read them both in high school. Fantastic books. Read it and you'll understand why this makes no sense. Goes into a lot of detail about the stuff like real estate and, of course, assets, which is important. What about let's get political here. Free to Choose, Milton and Rose Freeman. If you read this one book, you'll understand again why the economic system that the left keeps trying to push is total and utter BS. Why don't we go more with that? What about The Ultimate Day Trader? It's kind of a so-so book overall, I'll be perfectly honest, but it's not that hard to read and explains the stock market decently well. How about this? Let's go really simple. Not even really simple. Let's go very, very basic. This is something that the government definitely needs to read. Dave Ramsey. All right, let's fix our debt issue, right? I mean, this is the whole point of his system, is to get you out of debt. God damn, the government needs to learn this shit. It's one book. If they read just one economic book on the left, they would understand why this plan is complete and utter disastrous for this country. It is absolute insanity that they would ever think this makes any sense. And Lord knows, I got more books up here I could keep pulling off the shelf and keep saying different things. I mean, what about, Secrets of Closing the Sale? That's a great one on economics. What about some John Maxwell books? It goes over a lot of things pretty well. Good Profit. I got some more back there as well, right? I read a lot of books on economics as well as politics, as well as just some fun books from here and there. But you read one damn book and you would understand why this is complete and utter nonsense. But that is what the Biden administration... This bill, if I swear to Christ, if they sit there and pass a tax on unrealized gains, it will sink this country. It will utterly sink this country. It will destroy everything that has been built up to this point. You cannot tax people on money they haven't even earned. God damn. Well, that was a good rant. I'm glad I freaked out a bit too much on it. I just start seeing books up there and just start thinking, oh well, now I'll wait to put the rest of these books up. Ah, damn. It takes just one book. These aren't hard books. Again, listen, Free to Choose by Milton and Rose Freeman, one of the greatest books on politics as well as it goes into economics. Great. It even goes into a lot of detail about education, which is something that we were just talking about before. Pick it up. It's a great book. Again, if you're looking at economics, Richest Man in Babylon, it's just parables about how to be financially savvy, and it's a great book. It's a great book. All it takes is one of these books and the left would be broken. One of these books and the left would be broken, but the left doesn't read. The problem with the education system currently, once people leave school, they stop their education. They stop their education, and it shows on the left, especially more than any other side. I'll tell you that right now. Thanks so much for watching that clip. If you want to watch the live show, it is Thursdays at 9 o'clock. Again, that is 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But if you don't want to wait that long, we got some other awesome content out there. All you got to do is click on this video over to the right, and it will take you right on to the next one. Either way, thanks so much for watching, and we'll be talking again real soon.